Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Samiramonay, and here we talk about spirituality, personal development, and growth. And today I'm going to be talking about how to embrace those negative emotions. So loud. How to embrace your negative emotions and how to let them go. How to actually release that, okay? But before I tell you anything, subscribe, okay? Hit that red button. Subscribe to my channel so you can get more content like this and so that I can grow. It's a win-win situation, okay? Okay? Are you subscribing? I'll wait for you to subscribe. You did it. Thank you. How do you let go? Well, let's just talk about emotions in general, right? Because in order to understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to understand what emotions are. You might think you know, but maybe you don't know. So emotions is basically energy in motion. People have said that so many times in so many videos. And if you are in the self-help spiritual community, you probably heard that too. But it's important because our energy, our vibration is how we communicate to the universe, okay? It talks through vibration, it talks through emotions, it talks through that's how it communicates with us, okay? So this is why people will say keep a high vibration, do things to keep your vibration high, dancing, go for a walk, run, whatever you got to do to keep your high vibration up. Do that. But let's be real, okay? Our vibrations are not high all the time. Sometimes you get depressed, sometimes you get anxious, sometimes you just feel like crap. And that's not a high vibrational place. And when you're depressed, it's really hard to be like, oh, I'm gonna just play some music and I'm gonna just be happy. It may not be that easy. So I'm gonna give you a tool to help you get rid of the negative emotions a little bit faster than like normal. When I first started doing this work, and started, really getting into self-awareness and really trying to be better and work through certain blockages and things, I would analyze the crap out of my emotions, okay? As soon as I felt like something was off, or if I felt sad or something, I would go straight into, okay, what triggered it? Where did this trigger come from? Doing all of these analysis to basically figure out the root of the problem. That's what I thought I was doing. And I'm not saying that is bad, but it doesn't get to the root of the problem, because it only helps you to be aware of like your triggers, but it doesn't help you to really release the emotions so that you are not triggered. There's a difference. Basically, I was just overthinking my emotions. And in overthinking, I was trying to fix it. My mindset was, I feel bad, I don't feel good, I need to fix it. That's where the analysis paralysis came in. Versus now my mindset is, there is nothing wrong with me. This emotion is not me. It's not my true self. This emotion has come from my ego or from my past. I have to say goodbye to this emotion. It wants out. It wants to go. Fixing versus releasing. Two totally different pathways. I'm going to use this compare and contrast of fixing and releasing so that you can get a better grasp of what I mean by releasing your emotions. And I really hope that this helps you out. Okay, I'm just going to give the scenario of like what I was feeling this past weekend, and I'm going to be pretty transparent. So Yeah. All right. So this past weekend, I was fine. I was having a good day. And then all of a sudden, I started to feel a little bit strange and off and weird. And I started to kind of just feel a little negative, a little sad. And so what I would have normally done in analysis paralysis is I would have said, okay, at what point of the day did I start feeling sad? Why did that make me feel sad? You know, and I would have went into that mode of trying to figure out what made me feel sad that day. With releasing my emotions, I decided I need to go upstairs, I need to be by myself, and I need to just meditate, okay? I need to let these emotions run. I'm allowing space for the emotion to be here. Think of it as like a child. It's the child version of you that is basically throwing a temper tantrum. And you saying, ooh, I don't like this, I don't need this, go away, is telling that child in you, I don't want you here. And that energy is creating a loop, because it might go away for a little bit and be quiet, but it's not gone. That's not how you release it. That's not how you let that child grow up and really heal, so that you're not triggered anymore. With releasing the emotion and me going to meditate, I gave space for the child in me to talk. I gave space for the child in me to have a voice and to say, okay, like, I know this is not me right now, so what's going on? And saying, I love you, you know, you have room to be here, and letting the child have the floor, right? So I sat in meditation and I just let my thoughts run. I let the child talk. Now, you don't have to sit in meditation to do this. You could write it out. You could talk it out. Whatever feels good to you in the moment. As long as you are allowing those emotions and that kid to voice, to speak, to let it out, then good. So yeah, so I sat in meditation. I sat in meditation and I let my thoughts just run. All the negative things that it has to say, you know, because when a kid is upset, they may have some nasty things to say. They may be like, I hate you. Why are you doing this to me? Why can't we just get this right? Why are you always doing things this way? Why can't you just do it the right way? Why can't you just be okay with this? Blah, 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 blah. La, la, la. Like, let it talk, right? Eventually it'll wear itself out and you'll be able to say, you know, I love you. What's wrong? What's really going on? What are you afraid of? So eventually what will come up is the truth. And for me, it came up in like a vision or a memory that I guess didn't remember, or maybe blocked out, or I don't know. And I realized that I felt so much guilt for being born. I felt so much guilt and shame from just by being alive. And I felt guilty because I felt like I took my parents' opportunity to do the things that they wanted to do in life, because they had me in their early 20s. And I didn't know I was carrying that around. And I cried so hard. And all I could do was say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I just felt so guilty. And it just kept coming out and coming out and coming out. Like, I was so sorry. It was just like this wave of guilt. And after I cried it out, I was able to really just come to a beautiful moment and realize that, you know, it wasn't my fault, and that I am meant to be here, and that I don't have to feel guilty for that. And I could look at that little girl, you know, in my mind, in my meditation, and just say, I'm so sorry you felt that way. I'm so sorry you felt guilty for this. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to be perfect. I'm sorry that you felt like you didn't want to cause any problems. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to not be seen. So it was just this really, really beautiful moment of just healing and releasing and being able to get to the core root of what I was dealing with. And that wouldn't have happened if I just tried to analyze my problem. I would have went through the day trying to figure out what went wrong. I never would have had the opportunity to go all the way back to my childhood and release that, you know? So the thing is that you have to be okay with being vulnerable and okay with not resisting it, letting it run its course, letting it flow, realizing that you are basically your own mother or your own father. You are your own parent, and you have to teach the child in you that the world is not ugly or out to get them, you know, that you actually have power. You don't have to be scared anymore. Even though I worked so hard to no longer be insecure, and I worked so hard to have confidence in myself, and I worked so hard to just be the person that I am, getting the root of it, you know, was like the end all be all. Always like just cutting the weed, but never really taking it out from its root. So yeah, it was like I cut the weed, but I'd still have insecurity show up over here, and then I'd cut it again and insecurity would show up over there. But this release allowed me to pull that thing from the root and look at it and say, you don't belong here. You don't belong in my garden. You are killing all of the other beautiful things that I have here. So that's what releasing can do for you. Just know that when you are releasing or purging, because, you know, that's another word for it. People will say purging. Sometimes people will have very real physical experiences. You know, mine was just crying. I just cried. Some people will throw up. You know, you may feel really hot, or you may feel like your body temperature is just burning up. It's different for everybody, but you have to get through that to get to the release. And I don't want to scare you thinking that like you're definitely gonna throw up, but I do want you to know that like some people do purge in that way, and that's what like purging or releasing that energy is. So once you do that, you are literally shedding and getting rid of things that are not you, right? The ego is this persona that we created to move through the world in a certain way to keep us safe. And that's what the ego is. But what we are trying to do is shed that. We want to get rid of the ego, and we want to get back to who we actually are. That is the end of this video. If you liked it, okay, if you resonated with it, let me know. Let me know down in the comments below what part resonated best with you. Okay, I would be glad to talk to you in the comments. Also, don't forget to give this a thumbs up if this really helped you. And if you're like, oh yes, girl, I'm gonna do that, then yes, hit that like button for me so that other people who needs this content can get it. And if you did not subscribe in the beginning, but you made it to the end, you come on, you made it to the end of the video. Like you have to subscribe now. Why would you do that? You made it to the end. You liked the whole thing. Subscribe. Stay a while. Let me help you a bit more in your life, okay? Okay.